This is Josie Brown with Author Provocateur. My guest today is Shirley Hailstock, the best-selling award-winning novelist with over 30 books to her name. In fact, her novel, Legacy, is listed as one of the 100 greatest romance novels of the 20th century. Her series includes the 6-novel Capitol Chronicles Romantic Suspense series and the 4-book Blythe Cove Contemporary Romance series. Shirley will be joining me at the Barbara Vay Reader Appreciation Weekend in Milwaukee in April. It's wonderful to talk to you today, Shirley.
Thank you. It's wonderful to talk to you, too.
I heard that you started your writing career on a dare. Is that true?
Yes, it is. I've read an awful lot of Harlequin romances, and a friend of mine asked me one day what I was reading. So I just, with a Harlequin present, I just turned the book over and let her see the title because I didn't remember it. You know how we used to pick up the books and just turn them over and read the back cover copy. And so I told her I'd read so many of these books I could write one. And she says, I dare you. And I went home and I started writing.
Good. And you haven't stopped.
No, I haven't. I finished that book. I let her read about 25 pages of it. And she was like, where's the rest? I need the rest. And so when she finished reading, she says, well, what are you going to do with it now? And it's like, now? There's no now. I was just writing the book because you dared me. And so she suggested I try to sell it. And that's when things just started to get under my skin. And I really wanted to sell it. And I joined my romance writers chapter here in New Jersey. And I learned a lot about writing and about selling, about the market. And eventually I sold to Kensington. Actually, the second book I wrote was the first one that sold. And I would finish a book every year because I didn't want a year to close without me having completed something. And a critique group of mine kept saying, no, this is not the book, that's the book. Well, that book is finished, but not ready. So I'll take 2 weeks. I swear, ladies, I'll take 2 weeks. I'll edit the book and I'll send it in. And it took me 6 months, but I sent it in. I met an editor at RWA's conference in St. Louis. And I pitched the book to her. She told me to send the proposal. I did that the day after I got home. And a month later, she mailed me a letter and asked to send the whole thing. So I did that. And she called 2 weeks later and bought it.
Wow. See, that to me is one of those great stories of, it doesn't happen overnight, but when it happens, it's because it was the right time, right place, right book, right editor. And also you wrote the right book. I mean, let's face it.
I loved it, but I was like scientific because, of course, I was a science major. So I went to and read all these books that I wanted to write a book. But I have not seen a book that has this plot. So let me write that plot because it would be different. So mine was a woman who was in the witness protection program. And she had gone in without her husband, which she didn't tell the people about that she had a husband. So he didn't know. He didn't know she was there, and they had faked her death and all that kind of thing. But it was something that was unique to me because plots are all the same. There's only 12 of them, if that many.
Right.
And but the surrounding areas to it, the meat of the story had to do with the love, and of course with her being in the program and all the items that would entail. And I never read a book like that.
Wow.
So that's why I wanted to write one.
I notice you do write romantic suspense. You write really, I won't call them sweet, but they're really, heartfelt romances. Which genre sings to you the most?
I actually do love romantic suspense the best. I like the other books. They give you a different flavor every time. And I do have some that are sweet and clean, whatever, adjectives we want to describe that genre, that subgenre. I have straight contemporaries, the romantic suspense, and then the series contemporaries, which are sexy books. They're not the sweet ones, the ones without love scenes. And different areas of Harlequin Company have had different programs, and I've submitted to them, and they accepted them. Many authors there write for many of the different lines.
Right. Have you noticed that, and I've seen this with a lot of authors, because we're creative by our nature, it's hard to keep us in one genre. We see so many stories, and they aren't necessarily things that we're writing now, but things that we want to write.
That's true. There are many things I want to write, that I'm not doing right now. I have a couple fantasy, novellas with a group in an anthology. I like that. It gives you a different, like I said, it's just a different flavor to try out and see whether or not it's something you like. When you were young and your parents used to allow you to, take piano and take bowling and do this and do that, so you find something that you like. I think we're doing the same thing. We just like a lot more.
Right, exactly. How did the concept for your Capitol Chronicles books come about?
Well, I lived in D.C. for many years, and when you live in the Capitol, the world is different over there or down there. For me, it's down there. People tend to think you know more than you actually do know, and so even the people who work for the government, it's a different culture. And I lived through that culture, and I didn't actually realize that I was, of course, until I no longer lived there and I was in a different state. I'm in New Jersey now. But I love the Capitol. I mean, I love books that surround the presidency and surround the government, but I actually like them to be the backside, the dark side, not everything that goes on that everyone sees, but the machinations that make it happen. So that's why I wanted to write those books all set in the Capitol.
Well, I think that that's going to be something that Barbara Vey readers will certainly pick up on, because there's an element of quote unquote scandal to them.
There's definitely that. And as Scandal came on television, I mean, it just basically played right into my area.
I know, it was your series right there.
Yes.
So, have you been to Barbara Vey before?
Yes, this will be the third time I'm going. And for the very first time, when I was such a novice, I didn't know what was happening and how things were going and what I needed to do. And, I would ask, people would explain, but until you've actually seen that tremendous amount of readers in one place who are all hungry for your books, it's different. And the table decorations that the authors go to, and just the volume of things that they do for the readers, because the readers do so much for us.
Exactly.
As writers.
Exactly. And what books will you be bringing to Barbara Vey?
My series is now totally digital. And in the previous years, I have had, I brought the postcards that had the QR code on it so they could download a free book. I do have some paper books there. There are some of the ones that are a little older because they've been around after I got my rights back.
Right.
But I'll probably just bring the postcards with the Capitol Chronicles books on them. Those are very popular.
Some of the readers have so many books. This will be something easier. They can just carry, wait till they get home, and
right.
And then enjoy it.
Or they can do it right there at the. I usually have my computer with me. They can do it right there on the computer, or they can do it on their own computers, or even the handheld devices. It's so convenient now to download a book.
Right. I know. I love this. I love this kind of immediacy that the reader has, especially when you've just connected with an author, and having that code makes it easier for them to just go in and, hey, here it is. I've got it. Stick it in my purse. When I get home, I pull it out and I go, okay, now I have it on any device.
Or even if they don't have the scanning mechanisms on their phones, the newer phones come with them. But my name's on the card, so they can just put my name in and the books will come up.
Right.
If they go to Amazon, or even if they just put my name in, go to my webpage, it'll take them to whatever service they use. If they use Kobo or Amazon or the Nook, whichever one they use, it would take them to that place and where they could get the book.
Right. So Shirley, tell us, what do you have coming out next for your readers?
Well, I'm working on a series of the Clayton books. The Claytons are a family of adopted children. And the older children were the unadoptable ones, the ones that were always in trouble, always running away, never staying in the foster care system. So they all got adopted. So they became their own family, and they consider themselves the luckiest people because they all love each other very well. So there are 5 books in the series, and they'll be up in the next couple of months, probably just about the time Barbara has the reader weekend.
Yay. So that's something that they can certainly be looking for.
Right. I just thought of it, but I'll definitely make flyers or, make brochures that have all the books on them with their covers and their ISBNs and how they can download them.
That's going to be wonderful. They are such rabid readers. You have the kind of books that are well plotted. The characters are alive. They sit next to you. So it should be something that they'll just grab up.
Oh, thank you. I certainly hope so. And I'm glad to hear that review. I love that.
We'll use it anywhere. Want to hear more about the authors who will be attending the Barbara Vey Reader Appreciation Weekend? Just go to my website, authorprovocateur.com, and click on to the other interviews. You'll also find them on the event's Facebook page. And beneath each interview, feel free to leave a comment about your favorite part of it. Doing so puts you in the running for a bundle of the author's books. Listeners can leave one comment per author to be entered for the drawing. This is Josie Brown of Author Provocateur, signing off.